Welcome to PlayStation Access and another of our top 10 videos. This one is about party games, fun, accessible games you can play with family and friends.
And colleagues.
Yes, thank you, Rosie. All colleagues. Rosie is with us again this week, everyone.
Party!
Where was I? Play with family and friends. Whether you're big gamers or relative newbies, all the games on this list feature local multiplayer, usually with a bit of a competitive streak, and together they have given us on the channel some of our most treasured moments on PS4.
Oh no! Stamp,
Stamp.
kick, square to kick.
It's so spiteful!
Oh my God. As ever, this list is limited to one entry per series, and you, yes you, can stop writing that comment because the games are featured in no particular order. Everyone gets a medal. Unlike in our first entry, Speedrunners, where medals are very specifically restricted to winners, and they're not really medals so much as rosettes. But I digress. Speedrunners! This is a deceptively simple-looking 2D runner. Is that a genre? Sure. Where up to 4 players race around obstacle-heavy courses, trying to eliminate the others by running them off-screen. Power-up drops give boosts and weapons that can tip the odds in your favour. The game has a stylish, Incredibles-style retro cartoon look, complete with a heroic soundtrack that amps up as each round enters its final stages. And best of all is the thrill of those final showdowns. The leader at a disadvantage out front and relying on knowledge of the track to maintain momentum, the chaser clinging on for dear life. Absolutely classic stuff.
It's got to be now, surely.
No!
I've done it again. Oh.
Next up is a game filled with loads and loads of quacks, if you want to annoy your friends that is, and it's simply known as Duck Game. You may hear the title and think, I don't want to play a game where I'm just a duck. But you would be wrong in thinking this, as not only are ducks great, but these are ducks with... Duck Game is a fast-paced party game which will make you and your friends scream for joy, out of aggression, and any other reason you could think of for screaming, as you will be running around the stages trying to be the last duck standing.
God, Dave! Just kill Rosie, please!
You can play it passively, picking a particular weapon and just waiting for your friend to approach you, and then... Or you could go in guns blazing and be so quick that no one can predict what your plan will be. And then you do an awesome knee slide as they're really cool. It's a simple premise, but with the range of weapons you can pick up, the different quirks each stage has, and the panic of your friends just trying to kill you the whole time, it's a ridiculous amount of fun.
Just be cool, Dave! Just be cool! Just be cool! Run away! I'm going to die!
Our next game is the truly glorious, completely unique Stickball. I think everyone has games that feel like their very own discovery, ones that you come across without hype or a trailer and that become an institution among your friends. For us, it's Stickball, a game which came to the attention of these fresh-faced young men just a month after its release in 2016.
This one is Stickball.
Show the camera.
Stickball.
I don't even know what that is.
And became a source of joy moments later.
My God, you're not thinking about what you're doing. No! Yes! Yes!
We loved it so much, we got Rob to play, then Holly, then Rosie and Elle. And basically everyone loved it as much as we did.
Oh, you scumbags! Yes.
Why? Well, Stickball is dodgeball and that's it really. Just brilliant multiplayer dodgeball with a fiendish game of genuine skill tucked beneath cartoony visuals and a goofy sense of humour. 4 players can go at it free for all or in teams of 2 across a handful of stages with unique hazards and features. A setup that ensures endless near misses, unlikely comebacks.
Oh my God! He got a double!
And warm, gentle multiplayer fun.
Surely.
Draw! Oh, shut up! Shut up!
If you like the idea of playing sports indoors at a party, then why don't you try some archery in Towerfall Ascension? A brilliant action game where you simply need to kill your friends the most in order to win. But as the stages are incredibly tight, small and twisty, and you can jump down these holes to end up above your friends, which is always cool, this is tougher than it sounds, as you need to consider where you will aim your arrows, where you think your friends will be once you've shot, and consider where they're going to shoot too. There's a lot to think about, but in all honesty, you don't even notice this, as really, you're just going, come on, come on! And suddenly...
Oh, hello! Hello, Nathan's face.
And what's better than pulling off amazing looking shots followed by rubbing it in your friend's face? Replaying that same moment just to make sure that they're aware that you definitely got them.
Oh, no! Yes! Oh, what a...
You don't deserve this! You've been awful!
This is amazing!
And then once one of you has won, we can guarantee that you will have an explosion of emotions.
Arrows. Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Get the onesie!
Our next game is Gang Beasts, another long-term access favourite. Gang Beasts is a game of clumsy 4-player melee combat populated by murderous jelly babies. A sinister, hilarious combination of deliberately haphazard controls, these are murderous jelly babies we're in charge of here, not ninja assassins, and brutal, sudden violence.
Headbutt him! Headbutt him! No! Headbutt Rob! Yeah! Headbutt Rob! Headbutt! Help!
It's kind of like trying to beat your friends to death while you're all wearing sleeping bags. Winning fights is a matter of throwing enemies off buildings or into things that will kill them. The tricky part being that basic controls are limited to grab and lift. So while you might wrestle an opponent over your head, there's nothing to stop them grabbing onto you to stop themselves taking the plunge. In fact, the game's gluey physics can end up with everyone jammed together in a maddening stalemate, although that just makes the feeling of relief from the inevitable breakthrough all the better.
Hey, here we go! No! No! Grab him! The pig! Yes! No! Yes! Oh, unbelievable!
Well done, Dave!
That was great.
Who gets really hungry after some virtual fighting? I do. So let's make it worse and talk about our next party game, Overcooked 2. Now I'm sure that when many of you clicked on this video, you were expecting to see this game pop up. But it has to be here as it really does give you an experience you and your friends will never forget.
No, I've got them. I've just washed them up.
Okay.
I'm going to put the plate there. I'm going to sit on this.
More chicken in this fry.
I've already put some in there, mate.
I need chicken. I need chicken.
This is a game which forces you to communicate and be in sync with your friends, as there are so many responsibilities in the kitchen, so many orders, and so many weather conditions? Why on earth are we working in a kitchen on hot air balloons? Fire! Someone get that fire! I realise that I've been talking about this game as if it's one of the most stressful things you will play, and it is, but I also want to emphasise how much fun it is. The rush you get from the frantic action, the moment when you're all in sync, working together beautifully and then get that 3-star rating, and that moment when someone snaps and just screams,
Who has taken the frying?
Me to go put the chips on the plate.
It's better to bring the plate over with someone else to bring the plate over.
No, because now Jackson's taken it.
Okay.
It's simply brilliant.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
One genuine problem of putting this list together is that every entry reminds me of the brilliant fun we've had playing the game, and I keep thinking, wow, yes, I think this might be my favourite party game on PS4. And so it's really not a surprise that, wow, I think Sportsfriends might be my favourite party game on PS4. It is so good. Machine tool to provide those magic moments of frantic, breathless tension that this genre is all about.
No! That was good.
Get up there, you stupid... Sportsfriends is actually 4 party games. The mighty Barabari Ball, a platform brawler somehow crossed with water polo to brilliant effect. Johann Sebastian Joust, which isn't played on a television but in the real world and is won by making other players move their controller too quickly. Then there's the big guns. Hokra, a simple yet demonically good King of the Hill style game where you play as a small block. It doesn't even have graphics. How is it so good? And finally, Super Pole Riders, where pole vaulters compete with each other to hit a ball on a rope to the other side of the screen. These are all for 4 players. There are 2 secret games for 2 players, which are even stranger but still brilliant.
I hate this game so much. Oh, why would I do that? No!
And honestly, I don't think there's another game on PS4 this dedicated to providing pure, straightforward joy in quantities as large as possible.
Get in. What is going on? 2 to win. Come on. And get in the onesie. No! Yes.
Do you like Tetris? Do you like balancing things? Do you like playing Tetris whilst balancing things? Yes? Then have I got the game for you. Tricky Towers, a party game where I pretty much just summed up what you do. You start with a happy little house and then keep on building on top of it to try and reach the goal first. But you're a bunch of happy little wizards who can cast spells, so of course this is not as it seems, as you can use magic to try and sabotage your friend's hard work.
No!
Oh, the door's just ruined everything.
And to top it off, the winner gets to put a roof on their tower once they're done.
Oh, it's over. What a shame, it's over.
Wow, Nath, your tower looks amazing.
Thanks, man. It's not really amazing.
Oh, I wish I'd got to do that with my tower, because it definitely would have fallen apart.
There are also different modes you can play, such as puzzle mode, where you want to build your tower as compact as possible so you can use the most bricks while staying under the line, and survival mode, where you want to drop as little bricks as possible, or else you die. But this game is packed with puzzling fun which yourself and your friends will all get really invested in. Maybe a bit too invested.
Oh, no, my webber!
In sharp contrast to me, there, it's very important to stay extremely calm for our next entry, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, the tense, clock-ticking bomb defusal game. This is another deceptively simple entry. The idea is that one person is at the controls and is the only one allowed to see the screen. This is the bomb diffuser, the only one who can see the bomb and whose job it is to describe it to everybody else because they have the instructions on how to disarm it. Only there are lots of different sorts of bombs, each with their own very intricate instructions for disarming, and so the game becomes about communication. A careful description of the bomb in one direction and equally careful instructions on how not to get blown up in the other.
Okay, back-to-back Ks,
Yeah.
copyright symbol, like a Q with an extra arm.
An extra arm.
Like as in like Walt Disney's...
Lambert, like
Walt
God of War.
Disney.
I think we're there. Yeah.
Yeah?
Add a time limit and bomb module so complicated you'll need a pen and paper, and you have a masterpiece of tension and, hopefully, teamwork.
Are there any red wires?
1.
Okay, so otherwise cut the fourth wire, right? Cut the fourth wire.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, goodness me.
5 seconds left.
You can't have a list of party games without mentioning a kart racer. So let's talk about the best kart racer on PS4, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. We all know the premise of a kart racer. You get in a go-kart and go brum brum in really fun tracks. But CTR is more than that. You can go around each incredibly fun course going brum brum, don't get me wrong. But the controls are phenomenally tight. There is a brilliant mechanic where you can boost whilst drifting, which could be a game changer. Excellent shortcuts which range from, hey, I found this, that's really cool, to, how the hell do I pull this off? And different driving styles to best suit your way of racing. When I've played this game with my friends, be they experienced players or people who have just picked up the game for the first time, they always have a smashing time with it and ask for one more race, which then evolves into 5. You know CTR is a favourite on this channel, and it's a favourite for a reason. We all get really invested in it, and actually that's a lie. The main reason we love it is to sabotage Rob with the clock. Did it go? Sorry, Rob.
Is that you? Why am I not getting the clock? When I'm in...
But for some fast-paced and joyous action at a party, this game is a necessity. We're catching up.
You've only just overtaken me!
And that is our list of the top 10 party games on PS4, or at least it would be, but here's a classic party game style, just one more. Because we just couldn't leave out another huge access favourite, Nidhogg. We're going for the original here rather than the also great sequel, just because that's the one we've had the most intense times with in this sword fighting game of split-second action and non-stop tension. The aim is simple: down your opponent and sprint past them until they respawn, making your way through a few screens before you get to victoriously cry,
Take me, Worm! Take me!
as you're eaten by a massive lizard beast, which is apparently what you want in this game. There's a depth to the combat that seems downright unlikely, and a wealth of tactics you can use to fake out, slow down and beat up opponents. And you know, actually, I think Nidhogg might be.
Okay, Nath, we get the idea. And that really is the end of our party games list. Let us know which ones you'd have included in the comments, give this video a like to let us know you've enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more features just like this one. Thank you all so much for watching.